Hey, what is going on, guys? I am here at the Pet Pavilion as we're going to talk about insert something here. No, I'm just kidding, guys. No hate on Mystic though. I love Mystic. He's probably one of my favorite Wizard101 YouTubers. I mean, he's such a humble guy. I go to his live streams and, you know, just a really humble guy in general. But today we're not gonna talk about whatever this is. The pet kiosk. But if you guys really want to know what I think about it, I think it's a really good. I think it's a really good addition to the game. I'm not gonna lie. I did love the addition because you could just do so much with like getting good pets. I mean, if you think about it, I didn't get this pet, nor did I get. Where's Young Nacho actually? This pet for like, I don't know, since I started playing Wiz. Like since the whole time I had a Myth Wizard, I never had a pet like this. Forever until I got to the pet kiosk, and that took me about maybe like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, like, you know, if I was to count the days I'm actually trying. So again, I think the pet kiosk was a great addition. I think it's pretty underrated. People kind of bash about it because, you know, you can't have Crown's pets, and I'm not gonna lie, Crown's pets are a lot better than the pets that we normally have. Hybrid pets are pretty good though, so I'm glad they still have them there. But we're not going to talk about the pet kiosk, nor we're going to talk about some other stuff. But today, I just want to talk to you guys about maybe my personal opinions on what exactly do I want in Wizard101 per se. Like for the summer update, as we're actually going to go to my house for this one because, well, you know, I just bought this house. I worked hard to decorate this house, so, I mean, I deserve just a little showing off or so. Look at that. It's beautiful, right? So if you guys don't know what Ultra Summer was, pretty much Ultra Summer was just like adding these, the Exalted Duels. Well, not Exalted Duels, but they're the Master Duels, or, you know, these duels things, like a gauntlet. And these gave harder versions of bosses from the past. So the ones we got was Miariardi, we had Rattlebones, and we had Crocopatra, and they gave harder versions of this boss, you know, from like Master, Archmage, and then max level during the time. I think it was level 100 Exalted, and they're very difficult bosses to beat, but they gave pretty good gear. In fact, the Rattlebones one specifically gave me this, which I use now because health reasons, really. Not much, but I just like the card on it, so I kept this instead. And those were really good. They were a lot of fun. You know, people were like just going in and like just farming these areas. You know, it was just a lot of fun. It was a good replacement for Darkmoor gear during the time. Not a replacement forever, but at least something that's good. That's not Darkmoor gear. So in case you need to farm Darkmoor gear, or at least if you farm these, you actually will get some decent gear. And once you farm Darkmoor, you can then replace some items with just the Darkmoor gear. Because, really, this is our strongest gear that we're ever going to get, for a while anyway. And for what I want is, I want another kind of thing like this, except give us back Glitch Malister. Like, we will love Glitch Malister. And again, if you guys don't know what Glitch Malister is, again, this is like for old-time Wizheads, old Wizheads. Glitch Malister was pretty much a Malister that had cheats. I'm not sure if this was during like the beta testing of the game. I'm not sure when it was, but I saw lots of videos which people were just doing Malister, and it was just close to impossible to do because he pretty much just does massive amounts of damage, kind of like Rattlebones does. We're not talking about Darkmoor Malister. We're talking about Glitch Malister. You know, the OG Malister. It will be so nice to have something like that. You know, have him give some like gear. Maybe give him some like up to like a level 125 gear. You know, maybe it doesn't have to be better than Darkmoor gear. I mean, it will be nice, but I can see why you wouldn't want it to be better than Darkmoor gear, because then it's like pay to win kind of more than it is now. But, you know, have something that, you know, can rival Darkmoor gear really well. So let's say, for example, maybe he drops some really good boots that are better than this that I have now. Maybe he drops a better robe. Maybe he drops a better hat. Maybe he drops in a thing that's like really good, or maybe like a ring, or maybe a deck. You know, it will be nice to see that they will have like upgraded decks to where you can just add maybe 2 jewel slots or something, like a triangle and the square, or maybe this will be a deck that you can just farm for. Again, you will have to pay 500 crowns for it, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna have lots of friends who will pay 500 crowns just to do the dungeon and farm it, and have the deck have like literally all the sockets except circle, because I can see why no one would want circle, because then it will be too OP. But let's say if you did, that would be really awesome. Another thing that I wanted to be put into the game, which I've been saying it for the longest time, is basically clans. You know, guilds. With the guilds, you can basically have up to like 50 people per clan or guild. You can do some like guild not tournaments exactly, but maybe guild quest, guild rankings, to where like a certain ranking will get a certain reward. Again, everyone wins, but the better your guild is, the better your rewards are going to be. But you don't have to just emphasize on the monthly rewards. You can also do some weekly rewards by doing quests. Like for instance, do some PvP matches. It doesn't even have to be ranked, just do PvP matches. There you go, boom. You know, defeat like 30 monsters. There you go, boom. Finish like a few quests or something like that. You know, you can literally just like do something to like kind of give to wizards who actually join guilds and like actually join into a community. I think it will probably be really beneficial for Wiz to actually have such a thing like that, because again, it would just be really awesome to just be able to create a guild, be able to have a really strong guild. Like the fact that it could probably be guilds for anything. You know, you can have guilds for farming, guilds for, you know, PvP. You can have guilds for just, you know, for the sake of just communication. Like you just love the people you hang out with. And you can have guilds for anything. It doesn't specifically have to be all hardcore. Another thing I will probably want implemented to Wiz for a while is probably like a balance system. I think for PvP, the only way to probably fix PvP, honestly, is with like a balance system. Now, a balance system is not perfect. It's far from perfect. But with a balance system, it allows for certain schools to have some pretty good benefits for the time being. And you know, by then, after the time being is over, let's say they do another kind of like balance update, then, you know, other schools will then have a chance to shine. Like, some balance changes you could probably make is like you know, you could just do some health balance changes. You can also do some card balance changes. Like, say for example, Lore Master. What can you do for a balance change for Lore Master? You can lower its damage. You can also lower its effects, like the weakness and the mantle. Or you can also lower the whatchamacallit. You can lower its accuracy as well, so it can be harder to cast. But in return, balance can get some other spell that they probably don't use as much to be even stronger. For example, Savage Paw. Savage Paw is actually a pretty decent spell. It's not bad. It's just that Lore Master's just a lot better. But let's say if Lore Master got basically debuffed. I don't know how to actually say it correctly. But let's say Lore Master got debuffed. Then Savage Paw gets a damage increase plus a blade increase. So let's say the blade increase was from like, I think it's 35 for the blade to like 45. And let's say the damage went up by maybe 5%. Then you can probably see some balance wizards kind of changing up their strategies to where, you know, instead of like having a use of Lore Master, they can actually switch up to something else, a different strategy. Like, this is the same thing that happens when when playing Clash Royale. Clash Royale is actually known for this a lot. This is kind of where I get the idea from. Also from Vainglory. But Clash Royale, what they do is that they make cards that are really popular in Muse. They basically lower their effectiveness and then raise the effectiveness of, you know, other cards, so that players can just keep adapting with new strategies. And this is I think this is like a monthly thing. Again, it might be a problem for Kingsisle because it's a small team, but it'd be really nice if they actually do something like balance changes, because like a monthly balance change, because it would be nice to see that maybe some schools that normally don't do so well in PvP do better in PvP. For example, I'll say Storm has a pretty hard time sometimes in PvP, and You know, something that you can do for Storm is like, you know, raise her health, and maybe you can also like strengthen some of their attacks that, you know, normally they may not use as often. For example, maybe Storm Shark, you know, you can just make it to where you just raise the attack by like 5% or something like that. The possibilities are endless. You just kind of have to do tests and see what works and see what doesn't. Again, since Kingsisle has typically never done this before, they're gonna have to kind of like do like in the baby steps and like change a few things. Are you gonna get lots of hate? Yes, you're definitely gonna get lots of hate from players who don't like balance changes, because again, balance changes kind of has a 50-50. Some people love it because it's like, if you think about it, balance changes helps not exactly to immediately fix PvP, but it makes PvP a little bit more fun in the sense, because now you can try different things. You don't have to just be a one-trick pony, do the same thing over and over again, and you're going to be constantly changing strategies so that you can stay afloat in the PvP rankings. Another thing that I would probably want, this last thing, better key dungeons. I'm not gonna lie, key dungeons are probably some of the most pathetic things I've ever seen. They don't really give great drops. Actually, the only ones that I know that give great drops are like, for example, Aphrodite. What does she give? She gives energy gear that's really good. Not a replacement for the energy gear from like hard packs, but it's really good for the time being. What else does she give? She also gives critical rings, which is also very nice if you want to go critical set. And that's about it. She also gives spells. That's another thing too. Omen gives really good decks. For example, this one. It took me like 2 tries to get this deck, but the bad thing about this is that Omen is just a really difficult boss. Not because he's just difficult in general and cheats. The cheats is really easy to follow. The issue is the way it's set up. With you have to attack the Sentinel first, and the Sentinel has basically about 100,000 health. Not only does he have 100,000 health, but he has lots of resistance, so you have to get through the resistance and do as much damage as you can, and it takes forever because the way the cheats go, you can't exactly set up for hits. And then Omen himself does like major amounts of damage already, so it's already bad. And it's just a hell. You have to really work very well. And honestly, in some cases, you have to have fire wizards, because they have the trap spell that I think it's called Backdraft, if I remember it correctly. They have that spell to where it helps them a lot when it comes to setting up for hits. But again, there's just lots of issues with that. And then we have like, I think Mimic. I don't even know what the heck he gives. He just gives the pet. That's the only good thing. Simon, who gives a pretty decent blade. I mean, it's alright. Not really much to say wow or I'm impressed. I think he's a stone key boss, so he doesn't really count, but he still counts as a key boss. Because the key bosses we got today, not today, but in a recent update, were pretty pathetic. Diego's brother, it was pathetic. It's literally super simple. A level 1 can do it. I think a level 1 can do it if they wanted to. And they don't really get much out of it. They get a pretty decent looking blade, but there's not really much to gain from it. And wooden keys themselves aren't exactly as easy to get. Same thing with stone keys. Golden keys are very easy. I have a bunch of them, like, with me at my other house. And I don't even use them, because there's like no point of me using them. Like, they're just so worthless at the moment. And it's not like, you know, Kingsisle's putting like more dungeons so I can use them in chests instead of using them key bosses, so I can't really do much with these keys. They're just in my house, just chilling, collecting dust. So what I will want is probably some key bosses and a summer update as well that are actually really good. They could be somewhat fairly difficult. You don't have to make it too difficult, because I know casual players are going to complain. They always complain about everything. They complain about how hard everything is, when really you just gotta get good. But, you know, at least give something that's worth my time actually doing. Like, for example, mounts. Maybe it's a little bit easier to farm for certain decks. Maybe he gives a really good ring. Maybe he gives a good theme. You know, something good. Like, at least make the bosses worth fighting for. Because the ones we have right now, they're not really that worth fighting for. Like, the only ones I can name on top of my head that's worth fighting for are Aphrodite, and that's about it. Aphrodite or any other key boss that drops like a certain spell, like Catch of the Day or Burning Rampage, and that's about it. That's the only thing that's worth it. But that's about it. Like, there's literally nothing else that's worth doing those bosses for. And that's about it. I mean, I talked for a very long time, but there's just lots of things that this game definitely needs to put so that it can, like, in ways, in my opinion, stay really relevant and still be lots of fun for many players. And I feel like, really, if Kingsisle wants to still keep the game really strong, they're gonna have to take a risk. They can't just, like, stay with the same thing over and over again and expect it to work every single time. You can't expect to have a new world every single year and expect fans to actually still, like, truly 100% enjoy the game and truly 100% be on for, like, lots of their time. So, really, that's just my opinions. Let me know in the comments below, guys, what you think about my choices for what Wizard101 needs to put for the summer update. Leave it down in the comments below if you guys want to, you know, share your ideas of what you want Wizard101 to put in this summer update, or maybe any update in the future, because that would be really good. For, like, I don't know, Kingsisle's probably not going to watch this. They're not going to bother watching this. First of all, it's because I'm an underdog, aka I am not Blaze, and second of all, well, I only have 100 subscribers, so it's not like I have such a big voice in this. So, but I just want to share my opinion here. But as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't, and always remember to stay frenzy. Peace.